Oh, you're in the building. Oh, thanks so much for joining us. All right, she's with us in the building. She's going to speak about how she started a business and share a journey and inspire you. So please can we put our hands together for Gwala. Guys, she just walked in, man. Let's show some love, man. Bit more energy. Fantastic.
Hi guys, Ninjan. Nyaphila. So, first of all, ne? Oh, I must stand. Guys, they can't see me, but they saw. Nyadlal, it's fine. It's okay, it's okay. So firstly, ne? Today, I actually couldn't make the session. There was something happening in Jean. I came here, I was rushing, I smashed my car. So by the time I sat down, I was like, was I not supposed to come here? I said to Ubulelane, because he's coming to Vosloorus, this is the session that I want to come to. So Nkulele Marimba, I don't know if there's anyone from a Marimba. So for me, Vosloorus is very special. My aunt still lives here in Spirit View, so my entire family is in the east. So I said, Mauzala, this is the one that I want to come to. So ikamalamu Jabulile Gwala, and I have a sportswear brand, Siko Republik. I started Siko Republik in 2017, and now I think we've gone to Switzerland twice. We are in London, and we are now entering the US market. So I wanted, thank you. I wanted to come share that with you guys, ne? But before, I wanna add gangane, gwindaba ye personal ne brand, the two things. So I've separated mine. And if you go to my page, you can go to Siko Republik and then you will follow me and you will be bored. Because my personal page is me and my kids and my sister and my family. It's not Siko Republik. And I made a conscious decision because social media can be exhausting, guys. Trying to keep up nama post, nama reel, nama just so that people can see ukuthi uyajima or wenzani. It can be tiring. But if you can, I would recommend that you bring your lifestyle in. But if you know what you don't have that time and it's not your thing, don't put that pressure on yourself. Your brand will survive. I just Googled here, ne? The few brands that exist. Does anybody know who founded Adidas? Nyamas? Maranas talking to Zakene? Nyamazi owe Puma. Yes, the two brothers. And a lot of people don't know who those people are. They don't know what they do. We don't follow their pages. We don't know their personal lifestyles. But we buy their products, right? Because they have marketing teams and operations and things that tell us what Puma is about, what Adidas is about, what Nike is about, and then we make the choices. The heiress, there's a lady called Sarah Blakely. Do you guys know Usara? What did she do? No. She's a billionaire, guys. She made spandex. We love spandex, we wear it, but we don't know her. And the beauty of that is that then she doesn't have pressure of being a human being and then have to be a brand as well. Because sometimes when you are also the brand, let's say you are having a bad day and something happens and we're all here and we got you. Now people want to link that to you, and that's not fair. We all saw what happened to Destiny magazine, right? We then all went after Kanye. And then we said, oh, but Kanye and this and that and that. But actually businesses fail, guys. They fail. It's not a personal attack on her. But because we had attached Kanye Lomo to Destiny so much, when that went down, we are now talking about, yeah, Mara, you are buying these shoes, but you didn't pay your staff. We don't even know if she had those shoes for 50 years, you know? So sometimes just think about that, Uti. If you want to link the two, are you going to be able to now be Siko Republic and stop being Jabulile Gwala? So going back to me and why I'm here, I have a marketing background. So I started working in 2007. I've worked for South African breweries. I've worked for Unilever. I've worked for Danone. I've worked for McCain. After 12 years of working, I then decided, Uguti, I am ready for entrepreneurship. And the reason for that was I had learned how to build brands, how to work with brands like Knorr, McCain, Brutal Fruit, or whatever the brand that I was building at the time. And then I said, with all this knowledge, surely I can do something that I can pass on to my kids. Surely Nami, I can start something, use that experience, and then be able to then hand it over to my children so that they don't have to go through the corporate system and suffer the same things that I suffered when I was in corporate. So that is the reason why I started Siko Republic and how I started Siko. I started it because I was tired of always fighting in boardrooms and talking about why the black consumer needs to be talked to in a certain way, why it's not okay to have an ad that says black hair is dry and what. Like, we can fight forever, but we can also be the solution. We can then build the products and the brands that we want and the communication that we want in order for our children to have a different experience. So that was my beginning. Siko Republic started in 2017. It's locally made, so everything is made in KwaZulu-Natal, and then I also have an office in Johannesburg. I have, growing up here and then moving to KZN for my varsity life, that's when I became interested in African prints and African attire. Learning more about African attire and how much we don't consume or celebrate our own heritage, then made me say, okay, fine, I'm going to be conscious in the things that I buy. I'm gonna look at more local brands, and I'm going to buy brands that do have African print. So when I started doing that, I realized with Gujimwe, there isn't anything like this. Instead of writing a note to Nike and Adidas and Puma and all these fabulous brands and saying to them, guys, please put our African print in your thing, I said, okay, let me do it. And it's not easy, nah? Because this fabric, Jimwe has specific fabrics and technologies and all of that. But I always remind myself, Ufil Knight, Naye, he started with what? Little. Now he is able to apply all of that technology, so Nami, I will get there. So I do not punish myself. Uguti, I don't have a big factory and the technology, I know. I'm 4 years in and already I've made a lot of strides. So that for me is the story that I want to sell to you guys. I want you to know, Uguti, there's a lot that you can do with what you have already. And dream big, guys. Like, don't look at your business and just say, I just want to service my community just here. No. Go for the big guys. I mean, the first time I said, I think someone said to me, so, but how do you explain your brand? And I said, I'm Nike in Wakanda. So if Wakanda had a Nike store, it would look like this. And someone was like, Nike, really? And I'm like, yes. And I've learned everything about Phil Knight, how he started, even this beautiful tick, with marketing, you can build the story that you want. When you listen to that tick Yaga Phil, he paid like almost nothing for it because it was just like, oh, I just need a logo. And then he built the story of just do it. And now when we see the tick, we know it's Nike. When we hear just do it, we know it's Nike. But he built that over time. Sometimes, we put pressure on ourselves because sifuna chapter 20 yaga someone kota wena kanukala. ukhohle ukuthi no, when usase chapter 1, and it's okay. Ukuyenza chapter 1 wakho, and you should want to go through chapter 1 because you need it for that foundation. Guys, you need the foundation. Whatever it is that you're going through now, no matter how painful it is, you need it. Because most sugar from 0 to 120, there's air. And you will find as in izinto ozothi figure phambili, they will shake you. If ungana foundation, uzokagega. Namhlanje we are able to go and we are able to say, I mean, I don't even think we're going to talk about funding today, but if I still have time, we'll talk about it. Because, right, it's not easy to get funding for our businesses. Yeah. If someone had given me funding 2 years ago when I started, I think I would have wasted it. Yes, 2 years ago, I felt like I needed the funding, and I did. Because, I mean, no one was taking you seriously. Ufuna mataiti. All the factories are white, Indian-owned. They tell you what minimum quantities is 200. And you're thinking, shit, where am I going to find 200 K to buy this collection so that I can launch it? But you make a plan. And by you making a plan, you learn to be creative. You learn very early, Guti, there are other ways to sustain a business yako. Not always having to always say, hand out, hand out. And that comes in handy later. Because now when someone does say, shit, okay, now I believe in this. Now I can see what this thing is going somewhere. Okay, here's $1 million. Do you know what you can do with R1 million? When you were able to do a lot with nothing? Do you know what you can do with R1 million? When you're like, yo, the last 4 years I did this. I got myself to Switzerland and London and I had nothing. Namhlanje $1 million. What am I going to do? Am I going to go to New York Fashion Week? Am I going to go to London Fashion Week? Because now you have resources. But you have resources and you have knowledge as well. You have knowledge of your business. So yazi ukuthi yiziphi izinto ozipresayo ku business yakho that actually work. Kanti ekuqaleni you're still shooting, you know, you're still like trying this, you're trying that, you lose some money, you make some money. But can you imagine losing money and making money, uqale 10 million versus uqale 1,000? Ukhala different, mase sekunjalo. So it's very, very important. And I heard earlier on mention ukuthi, yo, you must embrace the challenges, hey? Embrace them, but just don't give up. If someone says to you, no, Mina, I can't help you, say thank you. Say thank you. Because one day when you look back, you're going to say, in fact, because if you had, this would have been a different path. One day you're going to turn around and you're going to say, yeah, you know what, Jab? You know that time when I DM'd you and I wanted to ask you this and you didn't make time for me? It's fine. It's fine. Because then it forced me to go online, and when I went online, I found this that led me to this, that led me to this, and now what I thought I wanted from you has actually evolved because now I have new information. I'm here and I'm telling you, and that's why I'm saying I'm passionate about being here in Vosloorus, because when I look at you, I see me. I grew up here. I had best friends la. Ngangifunda eDinwidi High School, if anyone has ever been there. Ngangifunda eDinwidi. Ibaslam la ndlula la. This is my home. I don't come from a fancy school. Angna network. There was no one that mangpuma. So I know, just call someone. I didn't have that. And I'm standing here today and I'm telling you that I'm building something that when I talk to my kids, when I say to them, can you see what is happening? They are excited. My daughter in business studies, she's in grade 8. In business studies, she's having the time of her life because she comes home and she has a conversation with me. And she talks about production and she sees it. She talks about warehousing, things that I never had. But you know what I had? I had a mom who I had a mom who she used to buy chickens and then us ute, and she'd make all of us do it, and I'd study during that time because I hated it. But she taught me that entrepreneurship has always been a part of our community, Tina. We just didn't know it was entrepreneurship. Tina Giti was just making ends meet. Abogogo bebathengisa some ice. Like we've always had it. Now we must just take the same principles. Take the same principles and then use the fancy and big words and say, okay, how does that live with lending yenza your mind? And think bigger. You know, guys, when I went to Switzerland, I was shocked. There was a lady who got the atengisa ama beads. Ama beads was a China mall. Now you're like, I mean, I belong was Switzerland, guys. They were paying 40 Swiss franc for ama beads, ne? So 40 Swiss franc is almost 650. For Indo, I went to that lady and I said to her, seriously, this is what you're selling? I said, and she sold out. In fact, she was the only one who sold out of all of us. Because they love African attire. This, to them, is amazing. The thought of, you've got African print on Jimwe. This thing is made in Africa. So remember, we get compared to Asia, ne? So because I don't print this in Asia, they're willing to pay a premium. And when I say premium, guys, yabona amadugu was a China mall. About those relaxed. 175 Swiss franc. That's 2,800. For idugu nerogo. So I am telling you that the world is looking at Africa. They are looking. And there are so many things that they love about us. If we were to just stop and look at ourselves and look at what we have. Slaliskala City, our ancestors left us nothing. No, they left us a whole lot. They left us this, guys. We are rich. We are rich. So I am hoping, Uguti, if there is anything, I mean, that's why I gave you guys my story, mang figane. If bengakhulumi la namhlanje, I would have probably sat in my car and cried because my bumper is fucked now. But I was like, Tofunukzala, Pume Motweni, and go and share your story. So I am telling you, Uguti, if there is anything that I would like for you to get out from me, is everything that you are working on. Look at the brands that you admire. Look at them. And ask yourself, what are they doing? Abu Louis Vuitton, there was that one man who decided, there, Guma World Won Tonton, Gutenfungens, a suitcase. Ilegacy is a second and we mustn't just think of, like, right now, okay, we've done that for generations. Now, let's take it to the next level. We're not doing that. In fact, iphelele lapho indaba yama-ice. It's okay, it was just extra money so that sikwazi ukuthenga isinkwa. But we need to think bigger than that now. It must be bigger than month end, mele ngihlanganise lena lena le. It must be long term. Mele nathi sikwazi ukuthi abantwana bethu mabaqeda ukufunda. Oh no, I'm calling Auntie Jabu so that you can go and work kule factory yakhe over the holidays. We don't have those benefits, Teen. Spalama CV, sneakers P3 sometimes I buoy, you know. Our kids cannot go through the same thing. I say, yes, when I did this, I didn't have a network. But I don't want my child to not have a network. I wanted to start ku-level le mina engingaqalanga kuyo. Bengibheka manje umntana weka Estée Lauder, she's from that family. The beautiful Estée Lauder that we love. 3.3 billion. That's her wealth, her net worth. If you just Google her, that's what she's worth. And that is from a legacy, Yagubo. We need to start doing things like that. And we are all smart, eh? Like the room, I'm looking here, we can do this. In business, it mustn't be just you alone. You must be able to build something that can bring in other people. And once you bring them in, teach them. And be okay when they leave. Like Sakala, Siko Republik, but ngizomqasha usibanibani, ngimfundise ini bese uyahamba ayoqala fashion brand yakhe. So, what's the problem? Nike, Adidas, Fila, Reebok, I can go on. They all exist. Futhi, I like the fact that Adidas no Puma because they are brothers. Thina ngabe siyenzeni? Ngivuke ekuseni usisi wami sekayenza igym naye. Asahamba my family functions together. Because how dare she? Yeah? She worked with me in my factory. Now she is using my factory. Like, guys, we need to get out of that. We need to get out of the mindset, yes, scarcity. This thing of there's a pie and then share, that's not true. There's a flowing river. If we think like that, it's a flowing river. It doesn't matter how much you take and how much you take and how much. There is enough for everyone. There are 8 billion humans in the world. 8 billion. And when ufuna ukuba service uyi-1. Wena uyi-1. If umntana yini athi, oh yazi ngiyabona le business yakho ye-gym ukuthi hayi ngathi iyahamba. Now am I thinking ngifuna ukuyenza something. Angithi nayo ne-creativity yakhe. Mhlawumbe she doesn't even like the prints. Mhlawumbe ufuna ukuyenza i-gym in a different way. And it's okay. Mtshele ukuthi no, go to that factory, go here, because why do you want to be successful alone? What's the point? Yokuya kini, work phela, drive your Range Rover, work phela, uhlala isentini. What's the point? So guys, let's collaborate. Let's work together, let's learn. Let's push. Akukho lula. But trust me, you have everything that you need. I am here, I can relate to you, I can speak to you guys freely. Mhlambe mangeke kwenye indawo, other people can be like, oh well, but when I'm mhlambe Vosloorus, be good different. No, you guys know. You know. What you're going through, that was my life. That's it. So if I'm here, you can be here too. I don't know how much time I have. I can talk forever.
Thank you. Nasiabo. Thank you for the sacrifice you made to come and be with us today. And thank you for sharing your journey. I do know for sure that it's inspired someone to dream bigger. I run a lot. So I do about 40 Ks every week.
Oh, wow.
And I said, yo, man, because I'm running a lot and I'm conscious like branding. I'm like, hey, Bulelani, listen, I mean, I'm looking for a brand to wear, you know. And he said, you're the go-to.
Yeah, I am definitely the go-to.
You're the go-to. So yeah, I will be wearing your brand soon.
Yes. You see, if anything, now I've got a new customer.
So great. We're going to do a quick question and answer session, and then we will bring on the exhibitors. There was a point, and this is for all entrepreneurs, I mean, where you just feel like, yaza klangani, man, you know? Like, I'm trying, I'm knocking, I'm bashing my head. And I think we all go through that, where you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like doing anything. But you know that there are things that you still need to do. Did you go through that, and how did you overcome that? What would be your advice to entrepreneurs in the room?
Okay. So I mentioned earlier, Uguti, the product is locally made. It's very easy to go to China with your designs. They make the products for you cheap. You come here, you sell, you are done. The route I took was very difficult. The manufacturing industry is very closed in SA. Unokufika kwi factory, you know they make gymwear, and they ask you how did you find us? And you're like, does it matter? Angithi ngizothenga nami. No, how did you find us? there were times when I felt like, okay, as in, maybe this dream is actually not going to happen. But for me, what kept me going was having a group of people that I shared my dream and my vision with. And you can pick them. It can be your mother, it can be a good friend, it can be. But people that, when you are really feeling like your back is against the wall, they must remind you why you started. They must remind you why you are doing what you're doing. My daughter is 14 this year. She's one of my people. I told her, when she's done, she's got a Nike in Wakanda that she's going to inherit. So when I'm struggling and I'm thinking like, yo, then I'm like, what am I going to tell that girl? Yeah, ngizoti, all the times that I missed dinner or this, that, I guess you've already made the sacrifices. You've already started. And then I'm going to tell her, ish, Nana, it got hard. So I decided to stop. And then I'm fixing my CV. But I'll teach you how to write a good CV so that Peter Retief doesn't put it in the bin. I can't. Yabo? So for me, that's the one thing that I did. I just got a few people that I know. Uguti, they will keep me honest because it is going to get tough. Because if it was easy, we'd all be doing it, ain't it? It is going to get tough. So I don't want to sell you a dream. I don't want to sell you a lie. It is going to be tough. But if you read or you listen to anybody's story, guys, who has made it, they went through their own things. Did anybody watch a documentary about Kanye West? Guys, come on. Yeah, like, but you're Kanye West. Yeah, Kanye West. People didn't take you seriously. And they didn't. So now, why do you want to be special? Why do you think? Would you just walk in a NEF and just be like, guys, I'm Nike in Wakanda, give me money. People are like, please girl, sit down. Because also remember, people can't give you what they don't have. If I come to you and I'm presenting Nike in Wakanda, and I'm telling you I'm from Vosloorus, my dad is not a billionaire, but no, this is what I'm going to do. And you look at me and you're like, you're like, this doesn't even sound possible. Because if you don't believe, Uguti, first of all, it's possible for a girl coming from a township to take on Nike. And you are the funder it. When and you're thinking, that's not even possible. What are you going to do with that idea? You're going to toss it. Because you're like, I'm not going to fund this. This is ridiculous. Doesn't even make sense. Does that mean now I must stop chasing my dream because when you don't see it coming through? No. No. And you're going to get that, guys. You're going to speak to someone. Uti, this is what I'm doing. And then they're going to be like, please. And they just calculate, no, it's not possible. So you have to be your first cheerleader. Believe in your dream, guys. It's there for a reason. Find every way to get it. Someone spoke earlier about SAB Kickstart. Find all these accelerators. There are so many corporates that are helping businesses right now. So many. So many. They give you grants, they give you business support, and you network. Don't just sit in your little corner and just think business yako iphelelala. Don't. Learn how to pitch, learn how to sell. Once you speak to someone and you say, so, and you can see, good time, man, as that point didn't land. Because you can see when someone just doesn't get what you're saying. Ne? Go back and say, okay, how else can I say this? As soon as I started saying Nike in Wakanda, then people were like, oh, because at first they're like, in the gym wear in African print. I'm like, yeah, why? Like, how? Why not? You know? So that story, it doesn't mean if you've picked this story and it's not delivering for you, you can change it. You can change it, tweak, and say, okay, clearly the way ngisho ngakhona kushuthi mhlambe I'm not explaining it properly. And then look at other people, abayenza lento yenzayo. Listen to them. Listen, and then you're like, oh, yazikhona abantu ne who are gifted with words. Umuntu ongathengisa amanzi. But mabachaza, you're like, is this guy talking about water? Actually, ukuthi mina ngiyenza into so. Then you're like, okay, iphi akhiphi bodlela lamanzi. Like, what? Learn from those people. Because everyone wants a story now. But if you can't sell your thing to me, how am I going to buy into it? And if I don't buy into it, then you are on your own.
Nike in Wakanda. Did I say it properly?
Yes.
Wakanda. Fantastic. Questions? Opening up your... Utheni. What did you say? Well, we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We're going to take 3 now. Then can I see the other hands where they are? 1, 2. Okay, so we've got 5. Name, shoot straight to the question, please. Thank you.
Hi, my sister.
Hello.
Hello from Morgate. Just 2 questions, can
Okay.
I? Why did you choose the option of manufacturing locally versus the routine of going to China? And why specifically did you go to Switzerland, and how the heck did you get there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. I'm kidding. Okay, 1, we have a serious employment issue in South Africa. We don't have a talent issue. We have an employment issue. If you look at a lot of factories that have closed, if you go to KZN, go to Cape Town, the talent and skill is there. It did not sit well with me to disregard that and go straight. Yes, because it's easier to go to China. It serves me. It's cheaper to go to China. It serves me. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted my brand to have abomama, abahleli eDurban, abakwaziyo ukuthunga, that I can say ukuthi they made and they stitched this product. It was one of the values that I wanted for my business. I've had people come in and say they want to invest, and then they go, ish, but it costs so much because manufacturing locally is costly. Why don't you just go to China, then I'll invest? And then I'm like, no. Then I would rather not take your investment. Because in the long term, I can see how growing Siko Republic can actually help people that I can see. Like, I don't know, China, there was a time they were busy with child labor, whatever it is that happens there. But I wanted to have people that look like me, that I can see, that I know are talented, and I wanted to give them that chance. And then 2, Switzerland. So everything is incremental in it. Remember I said there's no 0 to 120. Yonke into is a step by step. And you can go from this platform, uyegwenye, and it opens up opportunities. And I take all opportunities, by the way. That's why nanamhlanje ngichasi imoto ngiyenzani. I don't back away, because I believe ukuthi there's a reason why God has given me this channel. So everything, mangifika lana, I might walk out and someone else says, oh, actually, I really liked Siko Republic. Ngicela next week uze kuphi kuphi. And I'll go. Because I believe there's a reason for it. And that's how Switzerland happened. I happened to find myself in a space where there was a lady that runs Africa Fashion Week in Switzerland. She saw Izinto Zesiko, and she was like, this will do so well in my market. We were there last year, November. I just came back now in May. I'm going back again in September. So take opportunities that come. And don't be shy ngebrand yakho. If your friends don't buy your product, if your family doesn't buy your product, don't cry. They are usually the last people anyway to come in. They are the last. Trust what you have. And Masasohambe Switzerland, the same friends that didn't buy, that were running everywhere with Nike, now they see it, then they go, that's my friend. That's my friend's tights. Now they wear them. But if you didn't push your dream because bomele bona, you wouldn't actually get anywhere. So take opportunities, take them, take them, take them.
So, hi, Miss Sister.
Hello.
I think your story is pretty amazing. So, my question is, as an entrepreneur, right? And when you're starting something, how did you keep yourself grounded? Because the thing is, when you're an entrepreneur and you have a business, you always have these popping ideas, even when you're sleeping at night. You go, okay, I should change this, I should change that. And how did you keep yourself grounded? Because usually you have to present your product to the market and wait for the market to actually adapt to it. How do you stop yourself from changing the product too much that people can't even grasp whatever you're presenting, because the next week you've changed it and the next week you've changed it because of all these ideas that keep popping in your head?
Okay. So one, always have a notebook, ne? Always keep all your ideas, even if they sound crazy. And having lots of ideas doesn't mean you have to act on all of them every time. Just note them. If I show you how many notebooks I have, and because I'm a creative, sometimes I write a certain way, but I know good, whatever came to me, it's there. One day when I'm sitting and I'm like, I'm bored, I go to the old ones, you don't know. That idea might now be relevant, and maybe it wasn't relevant then, so don't lose your ideas. Grounding yourself. I launched, so as a fashion brand, I didn't study fashion, one. I've always loved fashion, but I'm a computer science graduate. Ekaya, it's maths, science, and accounting. So when I said I want to do fashion, my mom was like, Ganjan, no. But it's always been something that I've had and I've loved. I explained that I've worked in corporate, I've worked in marketing, so I understood building brands, I understand the grounding, right? So when I came in, I have a different stance on how I treat my product. Fashion is very like this. There's a new collection, sengena enye, sengena enye, sengena enye. But when I looked at brands like Louis Vuitton, Bana Petene one, they've been selling it for years. And they're still making a lot of money just from that. Maubega, Louis Vuitton, I will be confused with what brand is this. So I said to myself, if they can do it, I can do it too. I have a signature print, so this is new actually. I haven't even launched it. If you go to our website, it's not even there. There's a print that we launched that I call the Queen Nandi print. For 3 years, I kept that print. Because I want Noma Ivela gu Gomora. I want Noma ngapalanga guti Siko. People know that Siko Republic. And then, you know, because Gomora has our products. We did Big Brother. People were messaging me. We just saw Siko. Because I gave them time to get used to the pattern. I gave them time. In the beginning, it's not easy because abantu bayazi, and there's this misconception. So you're CEO, you're running a business, you're going to have money, you're going to have a fancy car, and then you're like, ish, I'm not taking tights this month, and I have to pay bills. And then you start to feel like you need to bring in other things. Just be very careful of that. Be very, very careful. It's gonna be painful, but it will pay off. It will pay off. Take your time with your product. Listen. Ask people, okay? And that's why I say don't spend your time on friends and family. Not because they don't love you, but because they have you and the product as one thing. When they give you feedback, nawe bakufake phakathi. And when you're like, Aibo, you know, yes, I was a party person 2 years ago. And when they're telling you that the thing is not going to work, they're not looking at the product alone. But big product now, and they know you. And when you're talking to a stranger, you're just saying, do you think this buckethead is cool? Okay, yes, now, but they'll put a little bit of the 5 minutes that they've seen of you, but they are mainly just judging if they would wear this legging or not. And they'll tell you, no, I mean, I wouldn't wear it because I don't like this. And then you go, okay, thanks. That's a little focus group. And you go and you fix that. So please just ask yourself, why are you wanting to go to the other ideas? And usually it's financial because we have to make ends meet. But trust me, the hardship will pass. It will pass.
Okay. Let me stand up. Oh. Ngicela ukuphakama ne ukuthi uzongibona kahle.
Okay.
Igama ulindo kuhle ne. When you say gym wear, it's tight, everything bra and
Yes,
and
yes,
all. I have a request, ne. I'm very uncomfortable about going to the gym because of this thing. I've got, you see, most my bust
Yes.
area.
Yes,
Every time I go gym wear shopping,
yes,
I can't find a bra that sustains my bust
yes.
properly because njalo mangithi ngizoskipha mele ngicale ngithi
Yeah,
uyang-
no
understand?
bra 5.
Yeah, mele ngifake ama-bra amaningi and it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a request to say, do you do bras that cater for us as nama-busts, or is it the same line like everybody else?
Yeah. Okay, so when I started Isigone, I love exercising, but I can't run. I can't do 40 kilometers a week. I want to go to the gym, I step, I do spinning, and I realized, Guti, there is a certain body type that is catered for, especially for women, when it comes to gym wear. And again, because you don't want to be always complaining to someone who is catering for themselves, I said, Siko Republic is for the African body. And the fact that our shape is different, you know. I've got big hips and a waist that's smaller nyana. So sometimes I don't want to wear leggings that now when I have to squat, now I have to be conscious, you know. So part of what we are putting together is to deal with exactly that. So that when you come to Sigo, you feel, Guti, this one, actually when they were working on it, they did know, Guti, there are women like me that actually need a bra eso. And I make a joke about 5 bras because I've had to wear bras with my crop top and it is uncomfortable and it also doesn't look as cute and. So we are working on things like that. We are not where we would like to be, like I said earlier. We don't have the technologies to make these beautiful, breathable fabrics that are tight here and not tight there, but we are definitely working towards that. That is the brand that we want.
Just got 3 more questions and then we close.
Sanbonani, ngicela ukubuza Siko, as a mother and as a woman, as a wife, as a family person and as a business person, do you ever like find yourself maybe breaking down somehow? And when that moment comes, what do you do? Like, what is your recharge space? Uyenza kanjani?
Okay. So, first, I think I've been blessed with a supportive husband as a start. And that is very critical. Because when you're an entrepreneur, there are months where I used to just say to him, "Ngicela ungangibali this month, my contributions were like high. If you need to go get pizza, just know that it's on you. Ungangibali mina." And if you don't have a partner that understands and supports your vision, it's going to be a challenge. Because he can also say, me, I didn't sign up for this. we have a household, and because financials are the biggest breaker. They are the biggest breaker. Because you can have a nice idea and you can be creative, you can post, people can like, but imali mangangeni, that is a problem. And the must say affected into zasendlini, that becomes a problem. That is the biggest source of breakdowns. So the kids, I can say they are protected, but I'm very honest with my children. Like I said earlier, I'm very, very honest with them. I tell them when it's time for business. I tell them when we are making sacrifices for the business. I tell them when I don't have money. I don't pretend like, hey, gunemali nan. I say, Nana, we are going to Switzerland, and I have to take the money to fund that, because I also don't want to not take opportunities because government is not funding me. I will take myself there, and I will say, this month, we're not going to do A, B, C, and D. And they understand. And when you come back, you know, like my son will say, did you make money? He's 8, and he wants to see the money. Then he's like, okay. Because then to him, he's like, okay, now I can see. Which there's a sacrifice, there's an action that umama took, and then there's an outcome. So I am very honest with them. My ngeko ayiko, my corner ikon. So the breakdowns I found, Wuti, they're mainly linked to money. And I have a family that I'm honest. I say, because in the beginning, I try and hide it, Debo. I said I come from corporate, and corporate was nice, and a salary, no benefits, and then now from by entrepreneur. So at first my husband was just like, and then, no. So I tried to hide it from him and not show Wuti, about this man that klangananga, nini, and I wouldn't pay, and that would frustrate me, because then I'm snappy and lean. And then when someone says, Mama, ngicela ice cream, then you wanna cry, you know? When hubby says, ngicela ufake petrol, you wanna cry because you're like, Agnayo, but you didn't tell anyone. So be honest. Like, make your family your team. Even if there's things that you wanna show them, but show them the important things. This is how the business is performing right now. This is what is coming up. And if it comes to a point where your partner says, Mina, I can't anymore, talk about it. Talk about it and then find a way, because, you know, if one day he says to me, hey, the business means go back to work, it will have to be something that I consider. If he has supported me for so long and it's not working, I can't also force him now, you know? So for me, the breakdowns are led by just not being honest with your situation, because if you are, you will get the support. Let the people that love you know. Did I answer your question? Feel better?
Sanibonani.
Hello.
I'm Lebza the Gwala. You found a label M. I make proudly South African manufactured bespoke jewelry. I'm going to proudly say yes, I'm a member. Mina, I wanted to ask you, Guti, how did you go international? And then Jongo Bushilo Guti, you happen to be in a place nabantu abazizi Ntezinkulu and all that. Jongo bagia so ungenile international market. Yini ongangitshela yona ukuthi ngabangena kanjani? Because currently bangena via the GTI and an international e-commerce platform, but like push African products internationally.
Yeah.
So yini enye ngayenza?
So for me as a start, probably come chat to me when we're done here, so I can connect you to the people that are running this. I'd love to see your jewelry, and that's why I was chatting earlier on. There are people who buy beads from China Mall with lots of money. So you can only imagine once they start to see your product that you have crafted that is not mass manufactured, or once they get to fall in love with your story and your aesthetic and how that looks, you will definitely go places. And also search online. And Mayagu DTI, go to them with something that you already know. Say, Guti, hi guys, I heard Guti, there's this thing called Essence Festival. It is happening on this day. This is what it's going to cost. Can you help me? Instead of also just saying to them, guys, what are you working on? As much as, yes, they've got their own things and you can go to them, that's fine. You know, don't leave those things because they will also come with other opportunities. But also go to the ones that you're like, Essence Festival has how many thousands of black people that attended, black Americans that attended, and saying, Funugala. And if they say no, save up so you can go. Because once you go, once you take yourself once, you'll never ever have to take yourself ever again. Because sometimes, like I was using the example, Guti, you meet someone on my limitations wake, yena, mentally, and then they project them on you. They look at your product and they're like, wena, you're not gonna go make it in New Orleans. Because they've never even dreamt of New Orleans. But once you're like, I'm from New Orleans with then they respect you differently. They talk to you different. So work on those two things. What would you need to invest in yourself in order for you to move forward? And I was in one event, women empowerment events, and there was Unomzamo Mbata talking. And she was saying, Guti, when she started to do international, she wasn't getting paid for the gigs that she was going to. But she went because she was building her brand. And they would book a flight yake, and they'd book her economy. And she would subsidize so she could travel business class. And she did that intentionally so that when she now gets that paying job, because remember, people they see, oh, sekase BET, sekase gupi, now we want her. But you've seen me traveling. I travel business class. So if you want me to go there, that's business class. And if you want me to do this for you, this is my fee. So you can build i-value ye-brand yakho wena yourself. Invest in it. So that umuntu masesekakutola, akakutholi usasela. Ukuthola sola. And angeke akuthole lana kubuyisele emuva, no. Now this is where I am now. This is where I operate. Now we can start a conversation here. So yeah, for me I'd say do that. Stay on their programs, but also find the places that you want to go to and be proactive. Tell them, would say, okay, na into ngiyibonile. And if you've already done stuff with them, it's even easier because you've got the network. Tell them. The worst they can say is no.
Greetings once again. Township Business Clinic. I believe firstly one must extend his words of gratitude for the inspiration. Well, you have mentioned the issue of branding versus personality in the beginning of the conversation. And as a company that deals with encouraging entrepreneurial spirit in townships, part of my proposals, it deals with how to bridge the gap that exists in terms of the economic patterns and the demographics in South Africa. So, which other companies might find political in an extent. For instance, the approach with Inectas and Standard Bank Chartered, it worked when I had to spot the differences in terms of racial differences in the economy and in entrepreneurship. But when it comes to Allen Gray entrepreneurship, they are not responding positively so. Simply because I think personally I am a straight talker, as politically ignorant as one may be, but the economy is racialized. So my proposal had to include such things. Let us try to bridge a gap between black and white. As we've mentioned, with the Indians, Chinese, they are forward when it comes to economy. So do you feel like when you are dealing in business, in sales, I'm one person who believes in sales, I can sell ice in the snow, fire in ice. But do you think you should have a standardized approach when you are selling your brand to your potential clients? Thank you.
All right, so I don't think you can have a standardized approach, right? Because abantu abafana, like you just, from listening to what you're saying, is that you have one story that Standard Bank took in, but Ellen Gray didn't, right? That already shows, Guti, ama dynamics are fine. You need to evaluate, Guti, when you were speaking to Standard Bank, who was in the room? Why did the story land with them? When you were speaking to Ellen Gray, who was in the room? And why did the story not land? So yes, the story of saying, Guti, the economy is still with the white man, it's not a lie. Everybody knows it. The white man knows it, we know. But if you are going to Ellen Gray, it depends on what it is that you want from them. Do you want the same white man to give you money so you can come fix the black issues that we have here? Is that the outcome? Because once you are clear, Guti, my outcome is this. Oksalayo, I want to source ama resources land. Once you understand, Guti, what is the issue with this guy? What is it about the thing that you said that either resonated or did not resonate with him? And then you need to tweak information yako to a way that it works for him. And I'll use a simple example. Someone used an example of Shela earlier. You might have a specific way Shela, right? But uzegimi, and I'm like, yo, this guy is amazing. And you use the same technique on another girl, and she's just like, askis. When you look at that situation, do you think you need to tweak something in order for you to get her? You have to. Because even though your message is still the same, even though your message iti, mina nawe, ngifuna ukuthi sibe na something, what works for me might not work for her. So you have to tweak. You have to look at who's in the room, who is your audience, especially for the work that you do. Because you are going to go into a lot of different boardrooms. Understand what are they trying to do? Ellen Gray. Are they passionate about transformation? Is that something that's on their agenda? If it's not, you can keep knocking. It doesn't mean that your story is bad. It just means they are not interested in transformation. You can go to another organization that still has same white guy, but he's passionate about transformation, and he listens to you, and he says, actually, I want to do something about it. So read your room. Read your room and take that feedback. If this is not landing, understand why. They spoke earlier on about our relationships. You have to build relationships. You can have your opinion and be firm. I believe this, that. But you also have to take into account, I need this person to buy in for me to move this thing forward. So I also need to listen to them. I also need to hear them. Because then once I hear them, then I know, because law, this is how I can tweak me for that person. Because bottom line is, you want the Ellen Gray money, right? So you have to understand what's important to Ellen Gray. Because once you find what's important to you and what's important to them, and you find that very, very sweet spot, then you've got a relationship that can be long-term. Because they are not going to change izinto abazenzayo, izinto ezibaluleke kubo, just so that they can feed your thing. It's just not going to happen like that.
Read the room. Sure. It's some of you were here before 9. It's close to 1 o'clock, you're still here. I don't know if you're not leaving because of the lunch or but I doubt it. You would have gone also. I mean, we're in a shopping mall, you know. You're enjoying this, you're learning, and I mean, I can see this because people are writing and people are interacting. Jabulile, thank you so much. Siyabonga kakhulu. Thank you for coming through. Siko Republik,